Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Hopefully I will have released my fixing tanks video where I definitely fix tanks. And I have so many hero concepts to share with you all. And you know what that means? That means I want to do a hero concept video, and today we are going to be getting on with it. So just as a quick, just insane, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4... We've got 4 tanks ready to go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 support ready to go, or, you know, to make a video on. And finally, DPS, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 DPS ready to go and 3 in the works. So there is so much on the way, and I thought it would be fun to do some Halloween ones as well. So look forward to 3 Halloween specials in Spooktober. But for now, we have 1 more Null Sector character to go. We did the Cleaner, the Tank. We did Slicer, the DPS. And you know what that means. It's time for a support, and the support we are going to be doing today is Upload. So, Upload. Unfortunately, Upload doesn't have much lore because she is a bit of a mystery. So, yes, she is an Omnic, and yes, she's joined Null Sector. But why? We don't know. No one even really knows who she is or why she exists. She is a master hacker, and she may sound like someone that I've definitely not picked for the express reason of describing Upload. But yes, Upload is going to be Null Sector's hacker slash Sombra character, the person who is going to be hacking into places to make sure that, you know, Null Sector is able to get where it goes, bring down the defense grids of the planet. And Upload is, all in all, a dangerous individual. So I don't have any other lore than that, because she's a bit of an unknown. So let's get into her health and her stats. So Upload has 150 health and 75 shields. So she is going to be a lower health individual, only 225. But with 75 of those being shields, which means she's got a bit of regeneration coming up a little bit quicker than other characters. I believe shields take 3 seconds to regen. I believe healers take 2.5 seconds to start their natural regen, but that does mean after 3 seconds you'll get the shield regen and your natural health regen at the same time. I think, at least. If it doesn't, then, I don't know, deal with it, I suppose. It's not a huge defining part of her character or kit. So, her primary fire, that is where we're going to be starting. I'm going to try and shoot these videos a little bit quicker, because I have a tendency to ramble about everything, and that is, you know, what I do, so I don't want to lose my identity here. But, you know, I think half an hour might be a bit long, but we'll see. I don't know. So, her primary fire is data spikes. She will shoot out data spikes, inserting into victims, or, so yeah, hostiles will be damaged, allies will consume repair codes to heal them, and repair codes will slowly regenerate over time. So, how does this work? So, essentially, it is a submachine gun style weapon. And my inspiration for how it feels to shoot is going to be similar to this. Similar to the Thorn Volley, or whatever it's called on Lifeweaver. You're going to be shooting out a spray, although this shoots much quicker. But the projectile speed is more what I'm talking about. It will shoot at 80 meters per second, and it will shoot 6 shots per second. Anytime you hit an enemy, they will take 20 damage over 1 second, and of course this will stack, so if you hit them 6 times in a second, they will take the full 120 damage from that. Over 1 second, of course. So, if you hit an ally with it, it will consume a repair code. We'll talk about repair codes in a second. And it will heal them for 30 health over 1 second with each shot stacking. So this is kind of insane, because if you actually think about it, if we had unlimited repair codes, do not fear, then essentially you could do 30 health times 6 per second. And if you know maths, you know that's 180 health per second. So that is a huge health per second, or healing per second. There is no hero who comes close to that. Maybe Moira, I don't think she does. The closest I think you could say is Anna with anti-nade, with a healing grenade is quite high. But that is with an ability. This will just be on its own. And it's, so yeah, really high amounts of healing per second. So, how many repair codes does she carry? Well, Upload only carries 18 repair codes. And she will generate 1 every 0.75 seconds. This means after just 3 seconds of firing, or 3 or 18 shots that she hits on allies, she will have healed a total of 180 times 3, so 36, 44, 54 health. 540 health she can heal, and then she has to wait for her repair codes. They regenerate once every 0.75 seconds. So the way I would envision it, just as so it's easy for you to understand, is it's a bit like this. Imagine those 4 shots there are your repair codes, and now you need to wait for them to regenerate. But of course, she needs to regenerate 18 of them. And that would, 18... Let's do it, actually. So if we was to do the maths on this, 0.75 times 18... that would take 13.5 seconds to fully regenerate all of those repair codes. Now, of course, the idea is you can, keep shooting them out as you go, but that's not really going to be that great, because you're only going to be, for that time, if you do it like that, you'd only be healing for, like, what, 40 health per second on average? Maybe a bit more, actually, I don't know, probably more like 45. But that's not great. So she has good burst healing and decent pressure damage, so it's nice to know that she doesn't use anything up to shoot enemies. She can just keep shooting, she doesn't even need to reload. So she can keep up some heavy DPS pressure onto enemies, that's for sure. You definitely wouldn't want to just ignore her shooting you. Her alternate fire is going to be data protection. So data protection is an interesting one, and it's what I'm going to call the healthy version of Suzu. I originally wanted to give a cleanse to Mercy, and I still feel like Mercy should have a cleanse, really. Obviously one target, and that's what I'm doing here with data protection. So you hack an ally in a very similar way that Sombra hacks things. You do that on a friendly teammate within 15 meters, and it will heal them for either 200 health or 50% of their maximum health, whichever is larger, and it heals that over 4 seconds. So if it's a DPS character like Soldier 76, 200 is going to be higher than 50%. 50% is 125. 200 is more than that, so he will heal for 50 health per second over 4 seconds. Which is nice. That's a lot of healing, and once you've hacked them, you've got them set up for 200 health over 4 seconds. That's very, very, very nice. We like that. And if it's a tank, this will affect them even better. If we presume that we are a big fat Roadhog for the moment, Roadhog has 750 health, which means 50% of his health would equal 375. That is a lot of healing per second. If we do 375, and then we divide that by 4, that is 93.75 health per second for 4 seconds, and that's sort of like a passive heal. So very good on tanks, not quite so great on DPS, but of course that's still quite a considerable amount of health to those DPS. So yeah, that's the general idea of data protection. On top of this, for the first 2.25 seconds, they are immune to all disabling effects. So just to be clear as well, it's only disabling effects. So as an example, if you have the Venom Mine on you, then data protection doesn't remove this at all. It's not a cleanse in the same way that Suzu Charm is.
Do not provoke me.
On top of that, it makes you immune to incoming disabling effects. So what's the difference here? So this is one of probably my biggest problem with Suzu Charm. When I think about cleanses, my opinion is this. Either one, it makes you immune to crowd control for the duration. This means that I can apply it to you, and you're immune to crowd control, which means if someone applies crowd control during that time, then it's negated. I'm okay with that because it requires timing, and I can see, the charm is down, let me wait a second, and obviously if I time myself poorly, I get punished, but I can accept that. The second option is remove crowd control. I'm okay with this reality as well. The idea being that if I see him get stunned, I can do that and he is no longer stunned. This is also okay. The problem I have with Suzu Charm is it does both of those. It makes you immune and it removes crowd control, and I'm not really a fan of that. And it does it in an AoE area. I think all of those combined together is why I don't like Suzu Charm as an ability. So, with this version, you are just immune to incoming disabling effects. As an example, if we say that we have an Anna on our team, and I sleep this Tracer, and Upload comes up and applies data protection to Tracer, she does not wake up, because she's immune to incoming disabling effects, but she's already been disabled. It's too late for the data protection. So yeah, data protection will last 2.25 seconds, and the heal lasts over 4 seconds. So yeah, that's the general idea. I like it. I think it's the much healthier version of Suzu Charm. It's only a single target. It only prevents incoming crowd control. It doesn't remove any crowd control that's already been applied. So yeah, I'm a much bigger fan. It does heal for quite a bit, but I think that's fair considering that she has limited data spikes. Her first ability is Shadow Virus. Become a virus blinking 15 meters in the direction you are moving instantly. So this is a bit of a dash, so it's going to feel, at least in terms of that, a bit like the Moira's thing. But in actual practice, it's going to work basically like Tracer's blink. It will just blink you 15 meters, so it's quite far from here all the way to there. Okay, that's too much. I've already decided. 10 meters is what we're going to change that to. It's already been changed. Yeah, but it's in the direction you're moving. So same as Tracer, if I move to the left, I can do that. If I move back, it blinks me back and forwards. You know, same as Tracer's. After blinking, your shields will start to regenerate instantly. So this is a bit of a defensive heal, which means that if you're not under pressure, you will start to heal up. This is quite important because, of course, you know, she's only got 225 health, so regening those shields are going to be quite nice to get yourself topped up. But, of course, if you take damage immediately again, well, sucks to be you. You're not going to get any of that sweet, sweet protection. However, if you pass through an ally, you will attach yourself to them, becoming a virus within them for up to 4 seconds. So if I blink through my teammate, I will actually become inside them as a virus. And whilst you're inside them, you can look around, but you're just linked to them for 4 seconds. Whilst you're linked to them, you are invulnerable. You will put like a sort of dark purple kind of mist around that person or hacked on them. So you could see like lines going up them, so people can see that you're attached to them. But you're invulnerable, and your repair codes will regenerate at twice the normal rate, which means every 0.75 seconds you will get 2 repair codes. And if you do attach to an ally, the cooldown will be increased by 4 seconds. The cooldown is 6 seconds, so similar to Tracer's blink. Well, I think it's double actually. I think Tracer blink is 3 seconds, right? 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's 4. But yeah, 6 seconds, and if you attach to an ally, you can stick to them for 4 seconds, but the cooldown will be increased by an additional 4 seconds to compensate. So you're not really getting extra time out of your cooldown there. And of course, the cooldown will start when you detach from them, so it will be 10 seconds from the moment of detaching. Ability 2 is going to be the Trojan. You will attach a Trojan virus to an ally within 15 meters, which resides within them for up to 6 seconds. If an enemy hero enters 15 meters of that ally, the Trojan will detonate, doing 55 damage to all enemies within the 15 meters and disabling their abilities for 1.5 seconds. This cooldown will start, which is a 12-second cooldown, after the Trojan detonates. So this is a very, very interesting ability, and I don't think we have many abilities which attach things to allies, do we? This might be the first one, actually. Obviously, I'm not talking about offensive things like sticky bombs. I'm talking about like a buff that you can attach to someone. But yeah, the idea is simple. You'd look at someone, it would give you this marker, you attach the Trojan to them. And if they jump into range with an enemy, it will do 55 damage to all enemies within a 15 meters and hack them for 1.5 seconds or disable their abilities for 1.5 seconds. This is obviously because I'm visualizing upload to be in service of a bit of a dive squad. She's got high mobility. She can attach herself to the tank as it dives in, which means that she could, you know, move with the tank fairly quickly and easily, or run in with the tank and then attach to him when he's jumping away. Let's say it's a Winston. And if you can attach a Trojan to the tank as the tank goes in, that's a big disable AoE when your tank's just gone in for 1.5 seconds. I think I'd be willing to tone that down to just a 1-second disable and then up the damage to like 65 or 70 just to compensate a bit. Because I do understand people really hate being hacked. And the final ability, look how quickly we've zipped through this character. Aren't we doing good? Wait, how long have I been? 18 minutes. Yeah, we're good. Is Hack Client. Yeah, she's literally cheating. Explode in a pulse, protecting allies from crowd control and fully restoring them at the start and end of the ability. So, as soon as you press this button, you will cause a massive pulse in a 12-meter radius, and all allies that touch the pulse will have their health set to 100%. So if your team, if you had like a Tracer on 5 health, a Rhine on, 20 health, and a Soldier on 50 health, they all go to max health. 175 Tracer, 250, 250 on the... I forgot who it was. What did I say? Soldier? And then, 700 on the Rhine, right? You get massive heal. And for 3 seconds, they are immune to crowd control. So, I know what I just said about immune to crowd control, but first off, this doesn't remove crowd control. Again, it doesn't remove it. It just makes you immune to it. And secondly, I think that, yes, this is clearly very powerful, but it's also an ultimate ability, so give it some blimmin' slack. And when this ends, all allies will have their health set to 100% again. I haven't wrote that correctly, so you'll see the correct version, but it will do a 12-meter radius pulse again. That's the general idea. So yeah. So I envision this to be upload to be a bit of a dive support. She does fairly solid damage. I mean, 120 DPS isn't too solid. In fact, it's quite good, actually. The only downside is that it takes a whole second for her damage to kick in. So when you first hit her, when you first land a shot, it does no damage. And then it does 20 damage slowly over 1 second. Which means that she is a little bit slower. You have that whole 1 second where you don't have any real damage. But then after that first second, it will have stacked up to 120 pretty quickly and pretty rapidly. And she doesn't need to reload at all, so she can just keep pummeling you eternally quite harshly. Her healing is pretty solid, but of course she's, you know, only going to be regenerating those codes fairly slowly, and if she does become a shadow virus inside one of her teammates, she gets protection, her shields will obviously recharge in that time, and she gets her repair codes back. But don't forget, the downside of that is that she's not in the fight. It's like the downside, it's like, you know, going, oh, Reaper's completely immune to damage for this duration, but he's also completely useless and not doing anything productive for those 3 seconds. So yeah, that is Shadow, oh sorry, that is, that's it really, yeah, that is going to be Upload. I must admit, I'm a bit more enamored with the Cleaner. I'm a bit more enamored with Slicer. I think those are both more interesting. And I do think I have some really, really cool designs on the way. So keep your eyes open for that. But that is Upload. I think she'd be pretty neat. But I must admit, I don't think this is my best work. I think there are some cool ideas in there. I like tinkering with percentage-based health regeneration. As an example, the you know, data protection healing 50% of a tank's health, heavily incentivizing its use on tanks, rewarding you for having higher health targets to use it on, but still obviously being pretty good against lower health targets. So yeah, I like the ideas. Maybe the execution is a tad rough, but I think Trojan is cool. Planting something on a teammate and having them jump in and use it as a bomb essentially. So yeah, I think there's some solid potential, and I must admit, my main disappointments with this character is mostly maybe in how her repair codes works might be a little bit clunky. But I remember using this Thornweaver, and I think this gun feels really cool to use. So having it on or having it similar, which also heals on a different character, I think would be pretty neat. But I do think if there was anything I could change, but time is a thing. Probably her ultimate. I would say maybe it's a little bit dull, but it's kind of just the it's literally the opposite of EMP. Because EMP, right, will do half of your health as damage. Yeah, it does half your health as damage. And then disables your abilities for 3 seconds. Whereas this will set your health to full, but then stop you from... and then protect your team from crowd control. And then set your health to full again, because I don't think setting your health to full is quite as... OP as it sounds. It's very good, obviously, but I don't think it's quite as insane as you'd think. So yeah, that's going to be Upload. Just to give you a hint, I did make that Mercy design that I was doing, so what I'm calling the SBM, or Skill-Based Mercy. Skill-Based Matchmaking, Skill-Based Mercy, yep, okay. Ignore that, didn't miss that. And I think I'm going to do that next, the Skill-Based Mercy kit. So this is more just... The idea is kind of to make Mercy more skill-based, because ultimately I don't believe in making simpler characters to play stronger. I think innately, if a character requires more skill, it should just be more meta. In general, of course, this isn't like a, you know, like for example, if, I don't know, like Genji takes a lot of skill to play, but he doesn't need to top the meta all of the time, right? But he should generally be getting more value than someone that maybe doesn't take quite as much. Same as Anna. Anna takes a lot of skill to play, and I think she should be rewarded for that, as opposed to, you know, just saying, oh, well, Mercy can heal just as much with just holding left click. Well, no, she shouldn't. So yeah, this is going to be the skill-based Mercy, which is a bit of a fun experiment. We're going to do that next time, and then we're going to get into the October Halloween characters. 1 tank, 1 DPS, 1 healer. They're all done already, by the way. But yeah, that's all for today. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you found something to enjoy in this. I'm going to end this exactly on 25 minutes, so you guys have yourselves a lovely, lovely